Okay, so now I'm ready to start cutting my fabric. I have my selvage edge right here, and then this edge right here is the one that I just put on grain. So I don't want to start out my sewing project either side here. I don't want to start it out on my selvage, and I don't want to start it out on this part I just put on grain, because this is now an unfinished edge and I need to cut these little frillies off. So before you start measuring for any sewing project, you want to make sure you cut off this selvage, and you want to make sure that you have cut off the frilly part from where you put your fabric on grain. So I'm left-handed, so I'm going to turn my fabric a little bit so hopefully you can see, and I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit too. So this is the end that I just put on grain. It's kind of wavy right here. And then this is my selvage. So I'm going to start by cutting a straight line from my selvages. I'm going to fold the selvages together, especially if you have a long piece of fabric or a really large piece of fabric. You want to start by cutting off the selvage part first, because you know the selvage is straight. The selvage is always going to be straight. So it doesn't have to be folded perfectly, but you want these edges here, where your selvage is, to be lined up perfectly. So I have my selvages lined up. Okay, and now I'm going to cut. So my selvage, I can see it ends right at the end of this white rectangle. And I can also see it down here. It is where my fabric starts getting a little bit smoother, because sometimes the selvage is a little bit rough feeling. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my fabric shears. I'm actually going to stand up when I do this. I'm going to take my fabric shears and I'm just going to cut all the way down, cutting straight, but I want to make sure I remove all of the selvage part. So I have cut that part now, and I can just toss this in the trash. And this is the frilly end. So I need to cut this straight as well. So I'm going to unfold it, and I'm going to move my frilly end. I'm going to start from this end since I'm left-handed. So you can see the little frilly part. Again, you can see these waves in here. And I'm just going to cut straight, and I'm going to cut, not obviously right on the line, but just right next to it. I'm not trying to cut anything off here. I'm just trying to get rid of this little wavy part. And you want to just keep on cutting until you cut all the way down. I'm going to move my fabric and just keep on cutting. Again, I'm going to move my fabric a little bit. So again, this part I just cut off. I can toss that in the trash. So now, starting from this, let me adjust it. Starting from this corner here, this is the end that used to be the wavy part that we put on grain, but now we cut it and it's straight. And this used to be the selvage that, oh, excuse me, the other way used to be the selvage that we just cut off. So now when we get ready to make a sewing project, we can start measuring from this edge and from this edge, because now we know they're both straight.